Hello everyone. How are you? Happy Friday. I hope everyone is doing well on this Friday. This is Meaningful Intuitive Guided Tarot here, coming back specifically again for subscribers that have sent a request for me to do a reading on their celebrity. And another request that has come in from subscriber Laura S. Before I continue, Laura S., I did reach out to you from the last message to let you know, to express my apologies. And just for the record, I just want to say that actually the reading that I uploaded earlier today for the celebrity reading of Shawn Mendes was actually for Wad Salah, and I hope I pronounced your name correctly. But Wad as well, we have connected and communicated to give you a heads up that in fact when you do see this video or see the video that was pertaining to what you requested on Shawn Mendes, that you will hear me calling out the other subscriber, Laura, and to just ignore that, but that the reading is in fact available for you. So that was for your request. And Laura, your request actually was for me to do a reading on celebrity LaToya Jackson. So this in fact will be the reading for what you requested on LaToya Jackson. So again, my apologies for getting the subscribers' request confused. All right, so Laura, this is your request reading for LaToya Jackson. So without further ado, let us see what it was in particular that you wanted me to address in terms of your questions pertaining to LaToya. So your first question was you wanted to know if she had or has any upcoming projects that she's been working on. So to tap into that first question, the answer is yes. I do see upcoming projects for her at hand. We have here the King of Swords. This is her energy. And speaking of which, you know, I always like to kind of give you guys a heads up on the zodiac sign. So LaToya Jackson's zodiac sign is a Gemini. That makes her of the air element or the air signs, okay? And just to get a little background or just a little insight in terms of Geminis, and I feel that I wanted to kind of dip a little bit into her personality and her trait, is because as we go into the cards and the messages that I received, you would better understand how she is pertaining to what I have gotten from her reading. So Geminis overall are known for their inventive ideas and being brilliant, especially when it comes to their work or career. They juggle. Speaking of projects, they do have the propensity to juggle many projects, right? Also, speaking about the negative trait that they change their mind easily and can be indecisive and even inconsistent. And when we go into the cards, you will see what I mean in terms of her attitude and her whole, perspective when it comes to these projects. All right, so that's it for now before I get into the other part. So now that we understand how Geminis are when it comes to their projects and their work and just in their career, we have, again, like I said, the King of Swords. So the Swords pops up here. This is in her true element because she is of air sign, her being Gemini. So if you look closely here, Laura, that this energy here is an energy that is kind of like on the spectrum of things, right? It's kind of like figuring things out. But as well, this could have been her energy for the past maybe a couple of months, trying to think about what it is that she wants to now undergo in terms of her projects that is coming up, right? So she's kind of like between the fence and seeing what's her passion? What does she want to do? What does she want to get involved in, at this time, right? So that's what I get from the King of Swords. So this is like her energy, kind of like I said, trying to figure out what it is, what projects, with whom she wants to work with. And so now, speaking of that, we have here the Three of Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is about collaborating, which means that when it comes to these projects, she will in fact have other people that she will collaborate with, team leaders, maybe project managers, but overall there will be to a point. And I'll say what I mean by that, to a point that she will get some type of collaboration with other people. But before I get to that, as to what I mean by that, we also have here the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups is like an offer of a project or a few that she will actually like. So this is not per se, when you think about the page, what is this? The Knight of Cups, you think about someone who's making a love offer. So with this particular scenario, this is not per se like a love offer in general, right? To me, this is just about an offer when it comes to her work, okay? Because the Knight of Cups, it generally would mean an offer that is coming someone of a masculine energy that's coming toward a feminine energy. But we know, again, in tarot, there's no specific gender. And generally, depending on the flow and the message and what the scenario of the reading is, it can represent many things. So for me, the Knight of Cups is just speaking about an offer that she will love, because the Cups is about things that you love, something that you love for someone or for something. So when it comes to her projects, it will be something that she will love, because I feel, going back to that King of Swords, she now have figured out what it is that will be of interest to her, what actually will get her to be excited for moving ahead, right? Also, what came out is the Six of Pentacles. So Six of Pentacles, it does deal with money, her career. It's about giving and taking. But now, when it comes particularly to some of her projects, I don't think that she will feel out of control or not being in control. And we're going to kind of get into that when we move over to the other cards. But I feel, though, in some of the projects that she will be involved in, that she would feel that it will be more taken from her than given to her, if that makes sense. Because again, Six of Cups is about giving and receiving. So she would feel like some of the projects, she will be receiving less money. And when she feels that way, that means now she's going to feel like she's going to need to somehow get some kind of control. When you are an artist, or when you are involved in certain things, when you have other people, there's collaboration. It's almost like the money is being split, but you're seeing less of what it is, when particularly you are the one behind the project, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? And why I say that is because we have here the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups speaks upon boredom. If you really look at this image here, this feminine energy, it's like bored, because right now this also speaks upon her trait as a Gemini. Gemini, when it comes to their career, when it comes to things that they are working on, because they are very, they have a lot of ideas, a lot of inventions, things that they want to bring to the table, so to speak. But when they are not in control or have the power to really bring forth those ideas, they can get easily bored. So this is why the Four of Cups came up pertaining to LaToya, because I feel that when she has stepped into a project, now whether or not she has actually started, I'm not sure, but you asked about upcoming projects, I feel that this is something that she is working toward, and at some point she is going to start to feel bored. And she's going to also feel that, like I said, when she look at the breakdown in terms of how much of it she is benefiting from it on a financial front, she's going to see that she needs to kind of take over, full control over it. And why I say that is because we have here the King of Wands. The King of Wands is taking your power back, being in control, even if you will, because this image of this masculine holding this wand, he is in his own power, right? He is standing alone. And this is why I feel that she will perhaps, if she continues to have people that work along with her, but I feel that she will in fact want to take complete 100% control over her projects, right? And it was something I wanted to make mention of that. So basically, in speaking about that, with her being in control, and by doing so, liaising between those project managers or those other team members that is with her on that project, it will ensure that she does not get bored on those projects. And that's why, again, the Four of Cups is here, because she is now starting to get bored, but she also feels like she's not in control over that project. And that's why the King of Wands is here. She's going to take back control over what she felt was going to other members or project managers or productions, whatever it is in particular that the project entails or involves. She's going to want control over it, right? And I think that they will get the message. I think she will be very direct and very expressive about expression how she feel about it, because we have here the Justice. The Justice is her speaking her piece and explaining to whoever it is that she's collaborating with that I want to be in control. This is not the vision that I see, but this is the vision that I do see. She has a certain kind of vision. She knows what she wants, and I feel that if she doesn't get that support behind those visions, that she will leave away and just kind of go on it solo, right? But it doesn't mean that she will ultimately be left alone to do it. But I feel that at the end, she wants to be the boss, ultimately, right? And that people want to see her vision. And that her vision, it's what's going to garner her more satisfaction, if you will. Okay? Now, we move over to the Death and Rebirth. And so the Death and Rebirth speaks about changes. It speaks about ending something to go towards something entirely new. And I feel, like I said, it might be that she will, depending on how many projects. I see that there's various ones that she will be. I kind of, 3 just popped out at me. I feel that 3 projects she might have coming up in the future. But I feel, again, that she may walk away from a project because she didn't have the control that she wanted, okay? And kind of like walking away from that, ending that collaboration with those people and forging ahead to something that she can see that will give her the satisfaction, will give her the control, will be able to let her bring her vision to what it is that she wants overall, okay? That's what I got from that. And we end out, well, not end out, with this particular section pertaining to this your question of the projects. We end out with the Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups speaks about something new, something that will open up. So as she leaves one thing and walk away from one thing, there in fact will be like another offer for her, and then something that she can be herself, something that she will love, because the Ace, maybe she thought they were, I don't know, let me not say that. Anyway, Ace of Cups is about new beginnings, starting over, or like I said, being able to be in her true element where she can be herself to really bring her inventions, her ideas, whatever it is on something new, a new project, right? So it could very well be the same project, but it just won't be with those other people because they didn't give her that freedom to kind of be herself and bring in what she wants to those projects, okay? So that answers that first question about upcoming projects. So the answer to that is yes, I do see that for her in the future. I do believe and feel that currently right now, she is at least in the transition of working on something, okay? Now, to address your other question, your last question is, you wanted to know if I could discern whether or not she told the truth about her family in the late 90s or somewhere in that 90s era, when we know that she had came out speaking upon her family, speaking about certain allegations toward them with various family members. But I will say this, that indeed there was lots of scandals that we know that followed the Jackson family for years. Not so much now so much, but we know during that era in the 90s and coming into the 2000s, there were lots of scandals, but a lot of family secrets. So for me to really kind of dip into various ones, because there was different ones, there was lots of them. And I will say pertaining to that is that I will say that about 60% of it, 60 to 70% of those allegations and so forth were fabricated. They were lies, right? But there was a reason behind that. Now, we did get the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords brings messages. This is her energy up again, coming up as the Page of Swords, because the Swords is air energy, and her being a Gemini. And pages brings information, but they are communicative, right? Sometimes generally they bring truth. But pertaining to LaToya, I feel that there were some things that she was honest about or brought truth to, but they were more lies or fabrications than the truth, unfortunately, right? And why I say that is because next to that, we got the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is things that have been planted. But in this situation, these are like secrets. These are like things that have been going on, that have been hidden, right? Because when you plant something in the earth, when you plant something, they are not hidden just yet, right? It still has to bloom, but they are like sitting there. It's like taking a break, so to speak, until such time that you begin to see things blossom and to come out. So I feel that when it came to some secrets, when it came to certain scandals behind her family, that they were hidden. They were quiet, or let's just say she was quiet about it. And I felt that it was something that she always, a part of her, maybe wanted to speak about, but on her own, she didn't. And why I said that is because it really goes back. If you remember that during that time as well, LaToya was married to her ex-husband, a man by the name of Jack Gordon. Now, for those that are very familiar, when she was married to that man, he was in fact one of the most, let's just put it this way, he had total control over her. And it was noted and stated that she was in fact brainwashed by him. I think even her mother, Catherine, had mentioned that during the time that she was married to him, that he was brainwashing her. So he had a huge influence behind all those fabrications, behind those lies pertaining to the family. And the reason is because he was like an opportunist. He used her fame. He used her name. He used her status to her being connected to the Jackson family. He used her to his own selfish benefit to gain money. Because the other card that came out surrounding this question was the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is gaining some type of reward, gaining some type of financial reward, if it is. And the reward was the books, the memoirs that she came out with. But again, her ex, Jack Gordon, was behind all of that. He basically pushed her, he coerced her into doing things that would smear the family name, so to speak, but it was all for his benefit. And when that happened, we have here the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is her past energy back in the 90s, where she felt very sad, where she was even angered, where she felt disappointment, that when she looked back to that point, that he was able to really get her to do those things. There were other allegations and other things that was noted behind him when he was married to her, maybe even drugging her. He was just like, unfortunately, a dirt bag, if you will. And I think there were other things that he was involved in. So with that being said, it would kind of make sense why and how he influenced her, because like I said, it was because of his own gain, and he was using the Jackson's name and using her, being that he was married to her. And we all know that it wasn't love. It was in fact what? A business marriage. So he used that to his advantage. So despite the fact that they were lies, but I felt that, according to the cards here, that in fact she was persuaded, she was influenced very strongly by him. And as a result, overall, fast forwarding to today, when she looks back and kind of see how all of that, how all of those allegations and scandals, how they kind of went through all of that and everything that was involved in between, the lies. But if there was any truth, I would say that maybe 30% of it may have been truthful. What exactly, I'm not sure. It could have been maybe some of the things that they mentioned about their father being very firm, being very abusive. Maybe to some of those allegations, there might have been some truth there in between. You know, because again, we don't know behind closed doors, but in terms of what she mentioned, also Janet and Michael, in their memoirs, they did mention about their father, Joe Jackson, being abusive to a point. And so that part may have been the truth when it comes to, you know, what exactly was she honest about pertaining to her family. But overall, when she looks back at that, now, present day, we have here the Fool. The Fool is having, well, two things. She took the leap of faith to kind of just understand that turmoil back then, to kind of now move ahead and just start fresh, to make amends and to forgive and to really think about the things that were said behind her family. But right now, currently, she is, like I said, taking on her own life, doing her thing, and she is starting new, because the Fool is not about taking a leap of faith, but it's just starting new, a new life, just looking at things from a different perspective, being positive, and just doing something to keep her happy and to keep her more motivated, and kind of, not that she will forget all that they have went through, all these years, the decades of them, you know, being followed and being harassed and kind of, you know, all the scandals that followed them. It's just now that she's in a point in her life where now she just wants to just, like I said, get busy on her projects and just kind of enjoy the rest of her life. All right? So that's what I got, Laura. And I hope that I addressed your questions. And again, I apologize for giving you a shout out to the other subscribers video. And again, like I said, I hope your answers here was addressed pertaining to the celebrity that you requested on LaToya Jackson. So until the next time that I do a request, if I am called upon to do it, I'm wishing all of you, Laura, a wonderful Friday evening and an awesome, wonderful weekend ahead. Take care. Bye.